70% mentioned that a strategic priority is for legal departments to invest in legal operations, over the next couple of years. So I wanted to ask you, David, you mentioned earlier, sort of, is your department facing these pressures? And if so, what are some of the solutions and other items you've implemented to address it?
Yeah, thank you, Tori. That's a great question. Yes, we are facing those pressures like the survey suggests. Because of that, just about 4 or more years ago, I hired the very first operation manager for our legal department to come in and provide leadership to my strategy around operations. And again, the concept of operations for me is really driven by the need to improve efficiencies across the organization, across the legal department, throughout how we support the business functions and the governance of the organization. It's about managing cost. It's about doing more with less. And building the operation function was critical to delivering on those strategic goals. So building that function and allowing it to carry out the mandate has been really the core of what I've been doing over the last several years now in the legal department. So first it was to motivate for the hiring, so you can get the budgets to hire the person and at the right level of stability in the organization, and then hiring the person to find the right person. As some of you will know, legal operation is kind of a newish area. So it's not always evident that you can go to market with a legal ops job description and find someone, straight from that background. You have to decide whether you're going to hire a lawyer or a non-lawyer to carry out the functions of legal operations. Do you want a project management expert, as I felt I needed, and just somebody who was an expert in efficiencies and procedures? So I was lucky to get a very strong person from the consultancy organization, from one of the big fours, as opposed to going for a lawyer to come and do this. And we embarked on a well-planned kind of 4 or 5 year plan on improving our strategy, our efficiency. So that involved deploying a legal management tool and several other technology solutions, including an e-billing solution to streamline how we get our invoices, how we screen them against our billing guidelines, and how we track the processing of the invoices so that our finance teams are not worried about the accruals, and we have visibility into the billing from the time that the lawyers are entering their time on the law firm side. So putting in place the legal tool, the legal management, matter management solution, the e-billing solution, and some other smaller tools like just a proper document comparison tool, because as a bank, we do a lot of document drafting, document reviewing. So just deploying simple tools like that would bring a lot of efficiency in how the lawyers work and has really changed how they carry out their functions on a day-to-day basis. And hiring paralegals to come and supplement the work of the lawyers so they can have time to spend doing deeper legal work, and we can improve and professionalize the process part of closing transactions and running checklists and running basic due diligence works beyond what that does not require a lot of legal expertise, and reduce as a result how much we send outside to the law firms, and just another way of keeping an eye on this. So yes, legal ops and technology deployment has been a core part of this. And
it sounds like you got it figured out, David. You've implemented a lot of really great solutions to help reduce spending and better manage cost. Abedini, I wanted to know if you had any additional solutions to add, because I know you discussed it as part of your opening that it was a big challenge for you working with smaller budgets and delivering greater value. So do you have anything to add to David's comments?
Absolutely. So I think David sets the context really very well. Being part of a multinational organization, we've latched onto deployment of various tools to help us, automate routine, non-strategic work so that our lawyers can focus on, more value-adding responsibilities, and we can spend less on legal fees. So the first one was a contract management tool, Smarter Contracting. We had been using that for almost over 5 years. I'm very sure of that, where, routine contracts are just built up by our business partners. They just put in their information, the templates are there, and that's it. And then secondly, we also did one regionally, which was a document management project, whereby, we tried to automate our document management system, because we found out that definitely a lot of the claims and legal matters that we have borders on, how you can be successful, borders on how much documentation you have. So while we've had document retention, procedures, document management policies, we needed a tool to help us, really store those documents in a way that they're easily accessible and we can use them as when needed. Another tool that we had deployed had to do with a compliance project. This also was done across West Africa. And what we tried to do was to capture all the laws and regulations that were applicable to the various parts of our organizations, and to make sure to put different people who were in charge of those compliance, because most of the time, like factory compliance matters, for instance, we are not going to be the ones to comply. It would be maybe the factory manager or somebody who is on the factory floor. So we put their names, and the tool can actually prompt them to let them know when they need to comply and what they need to do. And then the last one was Pursuit, and I'm sure that Cynthia would be very happy with this. This was a global deployment as well, and it's an automated billing system whereby you can actually have your external counsel bid for legal work, and you can see the bids. They can also see to an extent what's been, and through that, we've been able to have excellent savings on legal costs. So I think it goes on and on. There are many opportunities for us to be able to leverage technology to be able to address these concerns around legal budgets. And those are the ones we've deployed so far. I'm sure there's still many more, and we're looking to really latch onto them as they come through.
Excellent, thank you. So we've heard, to, manage legal spend. Ozim or Olivier, do you have anything unique that hasn't been mentioned yet?
David and Abidemi have said quite a lot. I just want to add that for us, in terms of when you're being hired, of course, it's an in-house role. You're expected to be a generalist, but we also are trained to function as a law firm within the company. So we don't send legal work out, except those that absolutely have to go. So our law firm feel underutilized. So we apologize ahead of time when we're engaging them, because it may not come up regularly. So the only thing that goes to law firm are things we can handle internally. And that's mainly like dispute resolution. Or if we're going into a new market and we need advice on the legal regime. So we may not talk to our law firms more than twice in a year. They don't love us because of that, but that's the reality of our world, because we're hired, our contract never goes out. Negotiation doesn't go out, things like that. So we operate like a law firm within the company. So and we learn our business as also to become like a business lawyer. So that's one way we have kind of, sending stuff out to law firms.
That's great job security and a great way to demonstrate value, right? Olivier, anything unique to add on this question?
No, I think the colleagues have said it, or I think the whole range of instruments or tools that we can, or strategies that we can use to reduce costs. Because what appears is that not only are legal departments constrained by cost, but the little costs that or expenses that they they have to make for, to hire legal counsel for litigation, for instance, even those have to be, sort of minimized, and and there's an admin part of, so in-housing as much of the work as possible is what we also did at Airtel. We only use external counsel. We use them only for litigation and some few legal opinions in a year. But also, as Ozim said, we tried as much as possible to be a law firm and to function as a law firm, even in our relationship with external counsel. So costs are minimized by virtue of the in-house team being so on top of the issues that the time spent by the external counsel is optimized or minimized. So there's an admin part of it, in terms of the following up on the time spent and checking invoices and the like. But essentially, it's about the legal team, the legal in-house team, being on top of the matter, so that there's no waste, if I can put it that way, of time spent by the external counsels on the matters that they handle.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you all.